My name is Bode Agusto. Why did I leave PwC to go and work in Citibank? During my years in PwC, I had been consulting, working with a lot of top companies in the environment. But I was their problem solver, but I had never been on that other side before. So I felt I would gain by going to work on the other side and then coming back, which was exactly what I did. The biggest challenges that we had at that time was the economy. And it's the same problems that we have today. Dependence on oil for foreign exchange, and when oil prices went down significantly during Shagari's, towards the end of Shagari's regime, and a lot of pain in the economy, devaluation, how do we manage this, that, and it's not that oil prices will go down and our revenues will contract. It is our response that always, in my opinion, further complicates the problem. And we have always been responding the same way to this challenge. We have not tried anything different. And the response has also always created more and more problems. I summarize it in one word: sentiment. We're sentimentally attached to the rate at which our currency exchanges for another currency, and that is the international currency of the world called dollar. We are obsessed with exchange rates, without looking at the fundamentals that will drive the rate. I'm lucky in the sense that I was able to convince my wife to stay back at home and help us raise the family. Because my wife had a better degree than me. She qualified as a chartered accountant at 20 years old. She could have been a very, very successful person in the professional world. But we sat back and we looked at things. And she agreed to just take a back seat and take care of the children that we have, because we had to raise 5 children, and it was so important for somebody to stay back. So I was very lucky in that respect, and the deal was that she will take care of the home, I will deliver the money to take care of the home, and both of us have played our roles admirably. So in the private sector, relationships matter. You need to manage and nurture relationships. And when you're working for people, particularly working for other businesses as opposed to even working for individuals as well, it's important for you to understand the relationships and manage the relationships. If you're working for a client, it is so important for you to speak to them, to get close to them, to know what is of value to them. Because if you sit down with them for long enough and ask the right questions, they will tell you where the shoe is pinching them. And if, say, you are a consultant, you are a problem solver, you have to understand what is of value to them, and you have to help work out solutions to those problems, those opportunities or challenges. They might want to exploit an opportunity, they might want to respond to a challenge. So it's important for you to stay close and manage those relationships. find out what is of value to them, and we can work with them to deliver a product that is of value to them. And for you to sustain that relationship, you must also find a way of differentiating what you do from what other people deliver to them. And your character is also important, because at the end of the day, if you're not of good character, people will walk away at the end of the day. I will use Agusto & Co. as an example here, because when I left Pricewaterhouse as a partner to go and start a new business, some people felt I was crazy. Why would you, at the peak of your professional career, leave and go start a new business? You've left a business that has a solid brand name all over the world to start a business that people knew, a startup. But why did I leave? I've always been more of a problem solver than an accountant. So I felt constrained using a public accounting firm as a vehicle for doing business. So when we started Agusto & Co., Agusto & Co. was not a credit rating agency. It was a consulting company. And we said, an important thing is for us to find a way of demonstrating value, of differentiating ourselves. We chose something that a lot of people recognized, but they did not know that it was a deliberate differentiating factor. And that was the quality of our research that we were producing. We are producing very high quality research on the economy, on key industries in Nigeria, and analyzing the performance of key businesses in Nigeria. And people reading them could see very clearly that these people knew one or two things about the economy, one or two things about my industry, and a little bit about my business. Therefore, they can help me. I can rely on them to help me. So that was a big differentiating factor, because there wasn't any high quality research in the market then. And people were talking about the Agusto report on this and that helped enhance our image in the market. It was a big differentiating factor then. I explained to you that I found it very difficult to use an accounting firm as a vehicle for doing business, the things that I really wanted to do. So that was what led to this, the start of Agusto & Co. And when we started Agusto & Co., we started as a consulting company, and we're doing three principal things. We're doing research, we're doing training, largely in the area of finance, and we're doing consulting, again largely in the area of strategy and finance. So those were our three business segments, and the timing was also good for us in one big way. It was a time when President Babangida was licensing a lot of banks, and they were hiring new people. They needed to train them. So training was providing us some steady income. We're also doing our research. The principal purpose of the research, as I said, was to be a big differentiating factor. We would have been willing to give the research reports for free, but people were willing to pay for it because they saw value, a lot of value in it, and that made us some good money as well. And then the consulting firm also started to pick up as people had more and more faith in the business. But like I said, our research business was analyzing the economy, analyzing key industries, and analyzing key businesses. And this is where the issue about talking to your customers would come in again. One of the things that we used to do in the early days was to have what we call a focus group of customers. So we gather some customers together and just talk to them generally. They were the ones that said that we should start a credit rating agency. It was not our idea. So we weighed it that When you are a consultant, you are like a partner with your client, helping your client solve problems. When you are a credit rating agency, you are a judge assessing the credit worthiness of businesses. So there will be a conflict with those two businesses. How do we want to move forward? Do we want to choose credit ratings? Do we want to choose consulting? Because there will be certain areas of the consulting work that there will be clear conflicts. In the end, we elected to go with the credit ratings. We took a bet, which in the short term was wrong, that the environment will see the clear benefits of credit ratings and the regulators will make it obligatory on businesses that wanted to issue debt to obtain ratings. We took that bet, but we were wrong. It took many years before the regulators got to that point. But we endured and we stayed the course. And that was how we became a credit rating agency. People would still discriminate a little bit between a company that has an international brand name and a Nigerian company. But over time, they began to see very clearly that the quality of work was not inferior. And in terms of value for money, what we were putting on the table was sometimes superior to what they would get from people with international brand names. So there was a bit of discrimination initially, but we overcame that.